something absolutely unexpected happened in Seoul this week. Imagine walking into the Seoul Art Center, a place known as the home of classical perfection, where the fountains usually dance only to timeless works by Mozart, Handel, and Bach. But suddenly, instead of a centuries-old symphony, you hear a familiar voice, a voice that has comforted millions, crossed borders, and broken records. It was Jin's voice. That's right. BTS's Jin has achieved something that no other K-pop artist has ever done before. His song Today's Me was chosen to be featured at the prestigious World Music Fountain of the Seoul Art Center. This isn't just a playlist, it's a cultural symbol, a stage where only the most timeless pieces of music are showcased. And now, Jin's voice flows through those waters, standing proudly beside the greats of classical history. From September 1st to 7th, the fountains lit up the night as Today's Me played, with water dancing in harmony to Jin's soaring vocals. People who witnessed it described it as magical, almost unreal, like the fountain itself was breathing with his music. Some said the lyrics, which encourage you to embrace yourself today, felt even more powerful when combined with the sight of the water rising and falling under the moonlight. It wasn't just a performance, it was healing. It was hope. It was Jin's voice reminding everyone that even in the most ordinary moments, today can be something extraordinary. But this honor didn't come out of nowhere. Jin has been on a journey that feels like a story written for the history books. Just weeks before the fountain event, he concluded his first solo world tour, Run Silk Jin Tour. 18 shows, 9 cities, every single ticket sold out. Over 217,000 fans filled arenas across the globe, creating a sea of light sticks and love for Jin. The tour didn't just succeed, it shattered records, earning $32.5 million and becoming the highest-grossing solo tour ever for an Asian artist on Billboard's top tour chart. The critics were stunned. Rolling Stone UK didn't hesitate to give Jin a rare perfect 5 stars, calling him a one-of-a-kind, unrivaled entertainer. Forbes praised his ability to deliver stable vocals even during the most complex high notes, proving once again that Jin is not just a beautiful face, but a world-class vocalist with control, emotion, and unmatched stage presence. Fans who couldn't get tickets described the heartbreak of missing it, and many are still holding on to hope for an encore, because once you've seen Jin live, nothing else compares. And then came another victory, this time from the fans themselves. In the Idol Pick Awards, Jin didn't just win, he dominated. He ranked first in the male idol category with more than 66,000 votes in just 1 week, held the top spot for 15 consecutive weeks, and took home the Best Artist of August title. This triple crown means his face will shine across Seoul, on billboards in 7 subway stations for an entire month, a gift not just for him, but for every fan who walks through those stations and feels proud to see him celebrated. But Jin's music continues to write history on its own. His track, Don't Say You Love Me, has been unstoppable, topping Spotify's Japan chart for an astonishing 57 days, the longest ever for a K-pop solo song. On August 31st, it became the fastest K-pop track to hit 400 million streams in just 107 days. Think about that for a moment. 400 million plays. That's not just numbers. That's millions of hearts pressing play over and over again, finding something in his voice that speaks to them deeply. So what do we see here? A singer who can fill arenas, dominate digital charts, capture awards, and now stand side by side with Mozart in Korea's most respected cultural hub. Jin isn't just performing music anymore. He's creating history, one milestone at a time. And maybe that's why people around the world feel such a deep connection to him. Because Jin doesn't just sing songs, he tells stories of love, resilience, and hope. His achievements remind us that no dream is too big, no voice too small, and no boundary too strong. The real question now is, what comes next? If Jin's voice can make fountains dance at the Seoul Art Center, if it can echo louder than the limits of K-pop, maybe his journey isn't just about breaking records anymore. Maybe Jin is building a legacy, one that will inspire generations long after today.